then joins them. They're set. He hits the button. Let them go. Manhattan Squeeze anticipated the start. It jumped best, landing in front from Crypto Conqueror and driving forward as well soon after Super Spritz to ride the speed early. Right behind those when they get going is Rockabye Hush, and around the outside of it is Amali's Rule. They're trailed then 3 deep. Next of all is Pucker Up, being followed further back by Pay No Heed. Down on the inside, Marcos getting back. Then Super God, Lucky 88 behind those, followed further back by Perfect Hit. Near enough to the tail end of the field, and Watson took hold of Profit Motive from its wide draw and parked it out the back last. At the 550, they track down the side. Manhattan Squeeze is well controlled in front, leading the way. Running second is Super Spritz. A length and a half away then is Amali's Rule, moving up to join Rockabye Hush in the middle. Over on the inside is Crypto Conqueror, and starting to wind up is Pucker Up, and further back in the field as well, coming with its run, is Profit Motive. At the 150, Manhattan Squeeze in front, Pucker Up trying to get on terms, and so's Marcos in the middle. They'll drive to the line, and Marcos in the centre has finished a bit too well for them. It's Marcos that gets there from Pucker Up. Manhattan Squeeze behind those, Profit Motive was doing its best work late. Also right there is Super God, and in behind those as well in that group of horses, Perfect Hit, and they were followed further back by Crypto Conqueror. A gap to Rockabye Hush. Then came Amali's Rule. Dropping out of it was Super Spritz coming to the corner, and the tail ender, Pay No Heed. Well, it's Marcos first up for Luke Fernie. Clint Johnston Porter driving through in the middle to claim Pucker Up, and Manhattan Squeeze to take out this 1200 maiden. Marcos on return. A 2-year-old son of A-Lot, and ridden by Clint Johnston Porter. Got back into the field, but then really started to build. Saw some daylight driving through inside of Pucker Up, who was already at its top level at that stage of the race, but Marcos has finished better than it. And in third, Manhattan Squeeze and Profit Motive running on number 12 after being back last. The winner's owned by Karen Fernie, also Mrs. A. Ingalls, and Mrs. J.T. Fernie, Mrs. S. Stewart, Mrs. J. Gilby Brook, Mrs. S. Jackson, Mrs. S. J. Ralph, Miss G. Ingalls, Miss G. F. Ingalls, Mrs. R. G. Steenback, and Miss J. Sharp. The ladies all involved here in Marcos, and didn't he have his running shoes on this afternoon? Second placing going to Pucker Up by Blue Point from Kiss the Breeze. For Oakland Park and Partners, Dan Morton and Lucy Fiore, and Manhattan Squeeze by Manhattan Rain out of Juice. For Tony Patrizzi at Greenfields Lodge, Lackdale Romilly the rider for Nifty Neville Parnham. Margins are a long neck and a long neck. The time is 1:11.85 and 34.69 the last 600, 1:75.12 the placings. Race 4, the 1200 share bets with Tap Touch Bet Loop Maiden at 1:39. Emergency runners again not required, 13 through to 15. Pool Party Strut, Your Stuff and Capel Guster. And we take you back now once again to Lockie Taylor joining us there. And this is certainly finished full of running. Got through between horses, and didn't it put its mind on the task?
That he did, Darren. Thank you very much. A nice win from Marcos. And as you touched upon, Darren, in a race where a 3-deep line developed a long way out from home, he was just caught in a tricky position in between runners. So Clint had to bide and wait for a chance to get out into clear air. But once he eventually got out into clear air at around the 200 or 300 metre mark, he found the line really, really nicely. Clint Johnston Porter pulled the whip through to the left hand, and he was able to fend off a number of horses that had momentum coming into the corner. And he looks like he's made a wonderful return here first up, Scotty.
Certainly has. You needed a new ink cartridge in the printer to get through the gear list here today with the changes. Crossover noseband first time, earmuffs pre-race first time, lugging bit first time, tongue tie off, winkers off. So they made a fair few changes there. There's only one way you could describe that. Well done, Brian.
Exactly right. Outstanding training performance from Brian Carey, the long-term stable foreman for Luke Fernie, who's away at the moment, but a nice way to start the day for the team. And here's CJP catching up with Scotty.
He certainly is. A nice returning run and win there from Marcos. Looks like he's just going to continue to get better too, Clint. Pretty handy that you've got a left hand there, because if you didn't have it, he would have been a nightmare in the home straight by the looks.
Yeah, he's actually quite a hard ride. Holly made it look quite easy when I watched his trials and his races beforehand. Like, he's a bit of a tricky ride. He sort of puts his head up in an awkward spot and just makes you so you're a bit of a passenger. But look, I couldn't ask for a better run, and when I kicked through, he sort of initially went up and down on the spot, and it wasn't until I got into the left he just absolutely found a heap.
And he had to, because the horse on your outside was the favourite and looked like it was doing things a lot more professionally than you.
Yeah, definitely. It's just a little professional, but he's probably just got the raw ability.
Congratulations, mate. Well done.
Thank you.
There's Clint Johnson-Porter. He combines with Luke Fernie and Marcos to win on his return today, taking out the Morley Growers Market Maiden.